Hey guys, this is OddOneGaming. This is going to be another Dragonheir SilentGods video. So in today's video, I want to talk about the Otherworld exploration, okay? So for those of you that started playing the game on day one of global launch, which was the 19th of September, you should be at a point right now where you opened, like it says over here, the Otherworld exploration, okay? It seems a little bit interesting. It seems a little maybe overwhelming for people, but I'm not going to walk you through the story part of it because, you know, you're going to be doing the story, you're going to do whatever you have to, and then you're going to get to the point where you're going to basically be teleported over there. So if I move myself over there, basically this is where everybody arrives. Again, same principle. I'm not going to go too much into detail. I'm not going to show or talk about the story. I'm just going to assume that you've done the story and basically you unlocked everything that you can unlock, okay? So after you do that, you're basically going to be facing some interesting things in here, okay? There's going to be 3 dungeons, which are going to be called the elemental domain. So we have the elemental necrosis, elemental ice, and then we have the elemental fire, okay? These are 3 dungeons that can give you points. At the same time, there are going to be 6 bosses, which you should already be familiar with them by now because the 6 bosses are basically the Continental Challenge. So I did not expect this, but basically it's the same thing. The Continental Challenge that we had before, those 6 bosses, they are back over here in the Otherworld exploration. Like I said on my Twitch streams, I'm not sure if I mentioned my videos, but this is how it was in the closed beta. The Otherworld exploration had the 3 dungeons and the 6 bosses. They randomly spawn on this map every hour, okay? And then you can go and challenge them to get some points. And then the last one is going to be once you get over here, the Adventure Preparation Office. This is that gives you some quests, okay? So basically the goal of this whole thing is to gather, if you look over here, if you click on this one, the goal is to gather exploration progress. So every single challenge that you do is going to give you certain points. If you do the quest, it gives you points. If you do the Continental Challenge, those bosses, they give you other points. If you do the dungeons, those give you other points. So every single one of those ones give you certain points, and basically this is what's going to happen for the next 17 days. Your goal is going to be to gather as many exploration progress, which is going to be like the XP, I guess, the currency, as you possibly can for the 17 days. So what I'm going to talk about is these 17 days, what you should do and what should be, you know, how do you maximize it? What should be your goal to be able to, you know, to do the best thing? That's why I kind of call this the ultimate Otherworld exploration guide. So there's plenty of ways to get points in here, but the things that you need to keep in mind are going to be, first of all, daily exploration, okay? Make sure you do every single one of these daily, but one of them, okay? Do one adventure preparation, which is going to be that quest. Do one elemental domain, and do one of the Chaos Shadows, which are going to be the, you know, the Continental Challenge bosses, so you can get yourself the maximum, you know, 1,200 points from these ones. These are pretty good. Then there are the in-depth exploration, which are basically kind of like achievements. So every time you do these achievements, you're going to get yourself 3,000 of these. And then there's the alliance part of it, but this one's just going to be around your alliance. Do you have alliance strong enough? Do they do this? And one thing that was not in the previous season, unless I'm mistaken, but there's the alliance bonus. That was not there. And this is massive because the better your alliance, the more points you do as an alliance, the more stats you get for every single fight in the Otherworld exploration, okay? So as an example, my alliance already unlocked 15% HP and 15% attack, okay? We're day 1. So we're doing good progress and we're getting close to the next one. So this is what you're going to want to hit as an alliance to get the maximum bonuses possible because obviously it's going to make fights easier. Now, let's go over what should you do? Like, what's the whole idea? What's the point over here? Well, basically, the Otherworld exploration is like the end game, and this is the most important part of the game that's going to count towards the next season because this is where you will gather the echoes of Clepsydra, okay? So far, you could only get echoes of Clepsydra if you placed in the top, I don't remember, I think it was top 50% or something like that for the temporal vortex. So as an example, before I started this, I had 27,000 echoes of Clepsydra, which I gathered basically over the last 2 months. Well, I just opened this and almost doubled it, okay? So if you have not been placing in the temporal vortex in the top and getting those ones, do not be discouraged and be like, oh, this is impossible to compete. Don't worry, you're gonna have tons and tons and tons. I mean, look at this. You're just gonna keep getting these echoes of Clepsydra over and over again, depending on how many of the exploration progress you get, basically how much XP you get. So what I'm going to show you now, like I said, is what's the best thing to do. So number 1 is going to be to do your best possible boss damages, okay? Because if you look at this, how many points do we get? Well, Just getting at the first one, for example, over here, we have the average one. So again, the bosses are the same. Same ones that were during the Continental Challenge are the same ones over here. So I've already made videos on these ones. I already showed guides, but if you want to see other videos, just let me know. I'm going to try and do my best to show you teams that you can get your best damage with here. So you have to keep in mind that every single day you get 150 points of the Worm Bud Tonic. That's it. They do not, you cannot buy more of them, but this is what you need to use in order to get yourself the points. So as an example, there's 6 bosses. Let's you do 6 fights. That's going to cost you 60 of these ones, which means you're going to be left with another 90 to use during the day. So number one priority, like I mentioned, is to do your best possible damage on these ones, because if you do 22 million, you get 2,500. If you do 11 million, you get 1,200. If you do 7 million, you get 800. So you kind of get the gist of it. The best ones are going to be the bosses. So your goal should be, from what I've seen so far, from my point of view, your goal should be to try and hit 7 million. Even if you spread some of your keys, so or maybe you do 22 million with one, but then you can do another one on the same boss and you get 800 if you do like 7 million. Do that. Keep in mind, it's the same as before. Once you have used a team once, you cannot use those heroes again. And these challenges are going to be daily, okay? Keep in mind, they're going to be daily challenges, not weekly anymore. But the good thing with these ones is the fact that now we have the presets, okay? So you can just go in there and you can build presets. We have 15 teams, okay? You can just build your best teams, save them over here, and they're going to be saved with your best gear. Like, for example, this is what I use for Jathalea. Well, I have all the gear saved up in there. So every time I go there, I just click load. I have all the gear and I'm easy to go and do my best damage. So that's number one priority, doing these bosses to do as much damage as possible. Then number two, the next thing that's going to give you the next best points are going to be these domains, okay? So for example, my best one for me is the flame domain. Every time you beat the highest stage, you get 500. So now you understand why I say try to get to 7 million to those ones, because the 7 million points will give you, if I remember correctly, oh my god, I have to teleport and look again. But that one gave you the 7 million damage, gave you 800 of those points. Let me double check so I don't give wrong info. Yep, it gave you 800. While the lower one, if you only do 3 million, that gives you 400, which means it's not worth it to only do 3 million on this if you can do stage 5 of one of the domains. Again, keep in mind, you have 3 of them. So you either do this one, that's Lightning and Radiant, or as you can see behind me, or you do one of the other ones, which are going to be Frost and Necrosis, or it's going to be Fire and Poison. So keep in mind, getting one of these is going to help you to get more points if you cannot get more points from the other stuff, okay? And obviously at the same time, like I showed in exploration, the in-depth exploration, which is going to be the challenges, is you're going to want to try and beat stage 5 of all of them, because you get 3,000 from there, okay? So even if you just beat it once, you want to get that amount there. So number one, the bosses, number two, the dungeons, and then only last one, which is going to be the challenges. These one, the daily quest, these one give the least amount of points, because like you can see, they give 100, so that's not that much. If I remember correctly, I'm not sure if it's the same now, some of them give you a little bit more. Like, for example, you have some that you fight 2 mobs and give you another 200, but still, it's not going to be 500 as you get from the other dungeon. So that's what you have to do. Do as much as you can from this one to gather as many of those ones, and basically, prepare yourself better for the next season so you can get some crazy rewards. This is what's going to basically be transferred. The Echoes of Clepsydra get transferred into the pure Sandcore. So as an example, if I go to the shop, so I can show you what I had previous season, it's going to be over there, see the season shop. Basically, all of those ones got converted into pure Sandcore, and then you have healer lights, you have scrolls and whatnot. This is going to be a shop that's going to appear next season, and depending on how you rank, I think different shops will open for you. So this is the time to compete with the PV, okay? Try to get places as high as you can and get yourself as many of these points as you can. The last thing that's going to happen, which I'm going to cover later on, is going to be the Resurgent Dragon opening. Once that opens, it's going to be kind of like unless they change it, you're gonna have the same type of things, but it's just gonna be one boss. You're gonna be facing with several teams, and again, the more damage you're gonna do, the more echoes of Cliff Hydra you get. But one thing that you wanna also remember is like, okay, maybe you're gonna be like, how do I build so many teams? I cannot do that. Well, look at this. They give you lots of XP. They give you more farming, more stamina, more scrolls, healer light dice. So you definitely want to do as much as you can over here to grab all of these rewards, because, you know, lots of summons, scrolls. It gives you a lot of affinity solvents, so you can max out all of that as well. So it's definitely worth going crazy. And then once you hit the last one, like after 150,000, basically these keep rotating, so you keep getting more XP scrolls, you keep getting more echoes of Cliff Hydra, more War Marrow, more gold, and more essence of creation. The important ones from here are going to be the echoes of Cliff Hydra, because these are going to be used next season. Then they're going to be the War Marrow, because again, everything is going to move over to next season. And then at the same time, I guess it's going to be the essence of creation, because part of this one you will get next season as well. So it's definitely worth it to push this to the maximum so you can get as many rewards as possible. There's obviously some rules in here which you can go and read, and it's going to explain everything that you can do and whatnot. But I hope this helps you. I hope this gives you an idea of how you should focus the Otherworld exploration, what should be your priorities, because like I said, that's why I called it the ultimate echoes, the ultimate Otherworld exploration guide, because I believe the things that I mentioned are going to be the best ones that you should focus on. If anything changes, or if I was wrong about something, I'm going to make another video on this just to clarify and correct, but I think I was right, because you know what, it was the same thing last season and it looks to be the same thing right now. So this is going to be it for the video today, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope this is helpful. I hope you still love the game as much as I do. And as always, if you do enjoy my content, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel to see when I upload next, and I'm going to see you on the next one. Peace, love, take care, everyone. Bye, guys.